Was I already recording? I got to edit. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. Lee Monish, Andrew Labuschagne, Miguel Antonio Barragan, bringing you the wonderful world of boxing. We bring it to you each and every week. We would love for you to go to our website, boxingtonight.io. You can find back episodes, you can find videos, you can find all kinds of fun stuff, including the up-to-date schedule for all of your needs. Normally at the beginning of the show, we do the pass around the horn routine. I'm not going to do that this week. Instead, I'm going to go straight over to Miguel, who was not here last week, to ask you the question, which will then set off Andrew again, which I will then try to referee. Miguel.
Yes.
What did you think of Bivol versus Canelo?
Well, it was a bad showing for Canelo, obviously. It was obvious that he looked flat. I mean, he doesn't ever really look on his toes anyway, but he looked like even more flat. It seemed as though, the weight affected him a lot more this time. It was probably more prevalent because he had a more live underdog in front of him and not somebody like Kovalev, who's basically on the downslide and on the way out of his career. So it was obvious when you move up in weight and you fight yourself a guy who as much as people want to point fingers for cherry picking, he didn't choose an easy opponent in Bivol, and it really looked easy for Bivol. It looked like the jab, it looked like the power was just too much. Canelo, it seemed as though Canelo thought he can kind of bail himself out with his power again, sort of the way he did with Kovalev, and it didn't work this time. He was doing the punching the shoulders and the arms the way he did against Callum Smith, and he said a few weeks prior to the fight that he has switched to a vegan diet. I don't know if that had anything to do with his power or his lack of energy or something, but he basically looked the way he did back in the old days when he would kind of rest in between fights, or not between fights, like the 6th, 7th, 8th round where he'll kind of take a couple of rounds off. He basically looked like that for the second half of the whole fucking fight. I was trying to look for rounds to give to him, but he didn't exactly make it very very easy for me. It was just a all around bad performance. It's what happens. They say he dared to be great. He dared to be great. Well, I mean, he's already a pretty great fighter from obviously what he's accomplished as it is, and he was just trying to add that second or however many more notches to his legacy, and he failed. Essentially, is what happens. So. It sucked. It sucked watching it. He was considered prior to that loss the number one pound for pound dude, and you go in there rooting for him and cheering for him, right? And then you're like, wow, that was a fucking shitty performance. Goddamn. I mean, I guess it happens, right? It happens to you eventually. You stay in there long enough, and it happens to you. And I mean, the weight was just too much. The power was just too much, and Bivol was just. They say a good big guy beats a good small guy. Well, he basically did him. We wanted to think that Canelo was just that much better than Bivol. And it didn't show. So, ultimately, the bigger dude won.
Miguel, I got a question for you.
Certainly.
I like that you brought up the vegan diet. I talked about that last week, that we've now seen the vegan diet used, I believe, 3 times on the main stage in boxing. Timothy Bradley used it, Chris Algieri used it, and now we have Canelo using it. All 3 of those fighters did not show power. Timothy Bradley throughout and Algieri throughout their whole careers of being these fitness gurus. And then we have Canelo, who looks just, like you said, not only flat, he was gassed. He had no energy. He had no energy. He had no power. The question for Canelo today is, do you drop the diet and take the rematch? Or do you just go back to 168 and call it good for the 175 division?
That's a really good question. And my dad mentioned this when he was watching the weigh-ins. It looked almost like his biceps had no peak in them. Like the way he normally does. It just looks like his muscle, like, kind of wasted away. And I mean, he looked, in shape. He generally does look in shape. I hope somebody in his camp kind of, gets in his ear and he's like, hey, let's drop this fucking vegan shit. Let's just go back to, your clen loaded meat if you want shit. But, I would hope that that's the route that he takes, because we know, like, we know we did not see the best Canelo that night. Like we know, and what is the one thing that was the major, or there was one thing that we know was a difference. You know, when you do an experiment, you do like one what are variables or something like that, right? You take one thing away and you repeat the experiment to see if that was it. Well, we know the one thing that changed primarily is his diet, and he looked like shit. So I mean, you know, you would hope somebody's in his ear saying like, "Hey, let's drop it." And if you wanna, you know, if you wanna still pursue it and you wanna go back up to light heavyweight and try it again, maybe you'll have a better performance. Whether or not that will be the determining factor, and he'll actually come out on top next time he fights Bivol, if that happens. Because I mean, you know, he's a guy that takes risks. You know, that's one of the reasons we love Canelo. He takes risk, and this was a huge fucking risk, and unfortunately, it didn't pay off. But it could have been other factors as the reason why it didn't pay off. So you would think he has that stubbornness. You know, it's like, no, 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 I gotta beat this fucking guy, and I give him props for that. You know, I give Shane Mosley props for losing to Vernon Forrest and then say, no, fuck that, I want a rematch, I can beat that guy, and then he loses again. You know, he did it again with Winky Wright. You know, so I give him props for that. It's like, damn, that's that stubbornness. Like, no, no, I gotta fight this guy, and if he beats me twice, then so be it. You know, he's a better fighter, and you know, we sense that in Canelo. So I'm thinking he's gonna ditch the diet and go to the fucking rematch, because I mean, he's not a dummy. He realizes that might have been the issue, and it sucks that's. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from the victory from Bivol, because he came in ready. He did his thing. He's like, no, no. He basically did what we had thought Triple G was gonna do at middleweight. He's like, no, 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 this is my fucking weight class, son. You come here and you fucking, you know, this is how it works. I'm gonna send your ass back down to super middleweight. That's basically what we all thought Triple G was gonna do at Canelo when he moved up to 160. But I think he's gonna ditch the diet and he's gonna go with a rematch, because he's just a stubborn dude like that.
There you go. Let's do some odds and ends that probably won't make the main story arc. Frank Gore. I just like doing that for Andrew's sake. He loves San Francisco so much. He does.
Santa Clara, but yeah, go ahead.
The Santa Clara 49ers. There you go.
Yeah, now that you live in
shout
San
out.
Jose, now that you live in San Jose, Lee, you'll understand what I'm saying. Nowhere near Lee, nowhere near San Francisco, is it, buddy? Nowhere
near San Francisco. Nowhere near San Francisco. Frank Gore made his professional.
Miguel, it's like an hour away. Their city on their helmet is like fucking an hour away. Don't even let there be traffic. But yeah, nowhere near San Francisco yet. Let's call it San Francisco.
But isn't that where they play, right? Or no? Because like I went to a WrestleMania like a few years ago.
Santa Clara. It's
Levi's Stadium, right? Or no? Isn't that where they played Levi's Stadium?
That's correct. Correct. You watched a WrestleMania there. Correct.
I went there. I went to that WrestleMania.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I know.
There you go.
Oh,
so
let's go.
Let's start first with Frank Gore making his professional debut as a pro. Anyone, yay for him. I didn't put the Evan Holyfield story up. Evan Holyfield got knocked out. In fact, most reports, and I've watched the clip, ugly knockout. You watched it live. You watched it live, Miguel. Was it icky?
I mean, you know, he got caught with a punch that kind of sort of caught him on like the side of the chin / ear, and he kind of fell like face first. And I mean, he didn't entirely lose his faculties. He kind of did fall and sort of kind of put his hands up before his face hit the canvas. But you can see like his mouth was on the fucking canvas. So he tries to pull himself up, right? And it looked. Like I gave him props because it looked like he didn't have that Zab Judah embarrassment. Like, oh shit, let me try to pop up real fast. He kind of took his time, you know. I mean, maybe he didn't have a choice. Maybe he really was that hurt. But he kind of like got up, took his time for a quick second, right? He was kind of looking around, and then he realized the referee was waving that off, and he's like, oh what? At least give me a chance to get up. So I would have liked to have at least given up, you know, for the referee to give him a chance to at least get up. And you know, when they do like that, they clean the gloves off, and then the referee's like, walk to me. Like at least give him that. You know what I'm saying? See if he can recover. If he looks like he's stumbling there, then by all means, you know, call it off. But I would have liked to have seen them give him a chance at least to get up. But oh man, the way he fell, it's like, oh no, already. I don't know how many fights he has on his record, but that shit. And this no-name dude who I don't even know who the fuck it was, clocked him with that fucking right. And that left hand of his was so low. It's just like, man, bro, like come on now. But you know, maybe he doesn't have his pop's chin. I don't know.
There are fighters. There are fighters that maybe have tough fights in the beginning. There's no headliners that I can recall, legends, that was, hey, remember when he got knocked out by that one punch early in his career, and then he went on to be a legend? So he took a bad loss last night. Listen, for me, Miguel, it was lights out. It looked like when he got hit, he went down like it was lights out, and that's scary because he's young. This should, yes, it was a punch he didn't see, but you're supposed to be able to take those shots to when you're climbing these ranks, because it only gets tougher. It's not going to get easier for him, and he failed big time on a very easy test that was put in front of him last night. So yeah, the future for Holyfield Sun is up in the air right now with taking a one-punch knockout to this guy was a showcase. That's what he was supposed to be. He was supposed to have a great night last night, and that was a bad loss because he did look hurt. I understand about the wave off. It looked like when he got up, there was a chance he might be able to save that count. But the referee didn't give it to him. But I didn't like how he went down. It looked like it was lights out when he first got touched.
These are the fights that he's supposed to win, and supposed to look good,
time.
Like these are the ones that are going to give him experience.
This is the record building.
Yeah,
stuff,
this
right?
is the padding part, right? It's like got to pad the record a little bit, and this is the development portion. And then when you get, knocked the fuck out and you fall flat on your face, it's like, oh shit, maybe he's not. I mean, what can we expect from their son sometimes? Legend's son. It's like they're never going to live up to their pops, right? We understand that, but it wasn't a good look for him at all.
So I'm introducing a new segment before we get into our main stories. The fun fact segment. Last night in Florida, I think Miguel knows this because I sent it to him. They did something called the Creator Boxing Match, which was basically influencers or people on the internet that, as this team knows, I desperately wanted to do, but we all think it was probably a really good idea. I didn't, because they were looking for people. They actually did 100,000 views for literally influencers and TikTokers and like people that were like, yeah, I guess they've got a following. I would make an argument. We've got that kind of following, but I'm kind of glad I didn't. It would have been a long ride to Florida, but they did 100,000 views. They sold out a 7,000 seat venue. With basically a hodgepodge of influencers and people from the internet. And so here's the fun fact. It's the new segment. I guarantee it's going to be more than the Triller card did. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. With that said, one last thing before we go into our main stories from the past week. All three of the Vargas kids who came out of the, and I quote, the Royal Nutsack, I did not say that. He seemed to chant it after awesome. Every child fun. The royal what? The royal what?
I piss gold in the morning.
Yeah, I piss greatness.
Yeah, I piss greatness.
Well, he found God. First he said, I found God. Fernando's awesome. He gets up, he goes, I found God and I changed my life. People know my story. Yeah, you were a piece of crap. But I found God. And then he follows up with, these are my kids who came out of the royal what? And I kept thinking to myself, okay, where's this going? And when he said nutsack, I go, yeah, it's godly life, I guess. I mean, sure, bro. Yeah,
he might have heard
you're down.
In prayer. Leave him alone, Lee. Leave him alone. You don't know who he plays.
I'm pretty sure he heard that from Ice Cube from that Natural Born Killer song. Yeah. Doomed to be a killer since I came out the nutsack. I'm pretty sure that's where it came from.
Well, all three of the Vargas kids won their matches. Yay. Go team. They're in pad mode. Now, all the business aside, let's jump into last week's stories and then get you up to date on what happened this weekend. Manny Pacquiao concedes. He finished third in the presidential election. Do you want to know who he lost to? Again, let's stay in our segment. Fun fact. You ready for a fun fact?
Oh.
Imelda. Does anybody know the name Imelda Marcos? The dictator family that got chased out of the Philippines?
Oh, no.
Their son just won the election over Manny Pacquiao.
Wow.
His name is Bong Bong. I actually watched the whole piece on Bong Bong. They actually, he managed to do it through social media, convincing everybody that he had nothing to do with his parents ripping off the entire country for all of their money. And Manny Pacquiao, the most celebrated sports person ever in the Philippines, came in third place to Bong Bong. Yay!
Wow, so
Glad you
somebody
retired
else
there.
beat him too. Jeez.
Yeah,
That's like
yeah.
one the dude who
Expect
got
Manny
it and the
Pacquiao.
second dude.
Expect his return to boxing in about 12 seconds.
That's right. Terrence Crawford got really happy.
I'm sure he did.
Terrence
I'm
Crawford
sure
voted for the other guy.
Go Bong Bong.
Yes.
Crawford was out.
Bob Arum has the type of money that can move that election. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Listen,
That's part of
I said I got nothing to do with Bong Bong. All right, no comments.
That's part of the contract.
Hey,
That's part of the contract that between
didn't
Bob
rip
and
off the country. His parents did. Okay,
Don't,
get it right.
Don't sleep on them. Are you telling me not to sleep on them?
Don't sleep on Bong Bong. Don't sleep. I wish I could entitle the show "Don't Sleep on Bong Bong," but nobody's gonna get it. But that's a funny one. George Kambosos Devin Haney undercard has been announced, and I'm gonna take a wild stab that this is gonna be a crap undercard. What do we got? The undercard. Oh my god, I flew right through it. They did it that way. All right. Brown, the Oceania title versus Alupu. Oh, it's one of those. So Lou DiBella is just basically selling this on one principle only, and it's a simple principle. You're just watching Haney and Kambosos. What is this trend? I'll move forward. Let's Felix Verdejo's carjacking, kidnapping, murder trial to begin February 27th. I just wanted to keep everybody updated. And now into the meat of it.
I'm really disappointed in that trial, though, the fact that it's not going to end in an execution. We all know he's getting life without that's not going to be a surprise, Lee. Like the trial is not even this is just bullshit.
Oh,
that
this
he's
is
not
anticlimactic. He is basically fighting. This is like him fighting a jobber. I know the outcome. I already know the outcome of this.
Exactly. That's why it was supposed to be execution. That's, you know what I mean? Like what he did. There's no reason for that man to spend the rest of his life in jail. They're never going to let him out of prison. And what he did was sick. He took 2 lives. He overkilled that lady, overdosed, shot her, threw her over a bridge, tied up. Like, fuck out of here, man. This guy belongs in a chair. He belongs with an injection. He belongs in front of a firing squad. That's his end game. And it's sad that we're not doing that justice for her family. So I hope he gets it inside. We got that last hope. Is that karma will get him inside.
Well, we could do like a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe to get him shivved in jail. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know the legality of it.
Can we like pay one of his cellmates a visit and like give him a fucking cake with like
Could you imagine
everybody
who listens to Fight Net Radio donates $5 to fucking whacking Verdejo in jail? I don't know. I mean, I've realized I just recorded it, and I'm the one going to jail for his murder. I think that's I would have to check with my attorney. Yeah.
Don't
send
$5. Don't send $5.
that was a joke.
Hearn on Joshua Usyk. Okay, now he's talking the Middle East. Obviously, these two want hundreds of millions of dollars. Vegas isn't going to pay. New York's not going to pay. London's not going to pay. So now we got to go take it to the Middle East on July 23rd. The fight is going to happen. We all know that. They have not picked a venue. I guess that's okay because the fight will sell out in 12 seconds. What are your feelings, Miguel, on the final resting place of this?
I mean, if that's where they're going to get the most money, I mean, I can't blame them. You know, it sucks that it isn't, here in the U.S. or even the U.K. for that matter. I don't know. I mean, like I've seen some. This is it was the rematch with Ruiz and AJ in Abu Dhabi, right, or something like that. It wasn't over in the Middle East. So they built a whole like little outdoor stadium. It was kind of cool. I dug it. I personally have like a special place in my heart for those outdoor arenas, like the Caesar's Palace and whatnot. That's kind of cool seeing like the sun in the background and whatnot. But I mean, shit, I can't blame them if that's where they're gonna go. I'm sure they're gonna air it hella early on fucking DAZN over here or something like that. I hope they don't do pay-per-view though. I hope they get enough money that they're not gonna need pay-per-view and it'll just be free on DAZN. But hey, I enjoyed, my Saturday morning sometimes with some AJ boxing on DAZN. So fuck it, if this is how it's gonna go down, it's gonna go down. But I mean, is it gonna go down? Like I'm sure there's still doubts that Usyk is gonna. I mean, we don't know where the hell Usyk is going to be. I mean, I guess the fight is going to go down. They've already said that, but we don't know where Usyk is going to be. I don't think we're going to get the best Usyk that day or morning, whatever. But I mean, I don't blame them one bit. If that's where the best payday comes from is in the Middle East, and they go over there. That's fine.
There you go, Andrew.
It's sad. Listen, I don't know what the travel is like between the UK and the Middle East, Dubai. It seems like a lot of the UK fighters are now vacationing over there. Eubank, Khan, Joshua, Fury, they've all been seen there. So is it possible that it's closer for them to travel there than Vegas? I don't know. And Vegas needs to be a little bit nervous about that. Now, the fight for Joshua, it's not a pay-per-view fight. I agree with Miguel. I hope this isn't on pay-per-view. I will not be buying it. Joshua does not deserve pay-per-view money. So that would be a fight that it's so easy to stream now. Sorry, damn it, Fight Net Radio. It's so easy to stream now. You don't have to put up money for shit like this. If you don't want to buy it, you don't have to really buy this stuff anymore. So I hope they do not put this on pay-per-view. It won't make any money here in America. As far as Usyk's state of mind, I guess you'd say, I think he's going to get stronger. Every day this war keeps going on, it keeps seeing like Ukraine's gaining momentum. Yes, people are dying. I'm not saying people are not dying, but there's this was supposed to be taken over a long time ago. The Russia was supposed to have won this already. That's going to get very motivating for Usyk as if this thing plays out where they start defending and actually backing Russia up. The other day they took down a bridge that had multiple Russian soldiers on it. It was a bridge that they were using. One of their main lines is now gone. So it's things like this that Usyk's watching. He's in there training. Let his people start winning or start getting a retreat. And I'm be very nervous if I was Anthony Joshua, because he's going to be coming out fucking banging on that night. So.
Yeah, I agree. That would be a huge motivator. It's a big platform. He gets to, much like the Klitschko's used it for, right? Use your platform and your position. It's no different than different ethnicities.
Lee, you just gave me a chill. Could they sneak one of the Klitschko's out to walk him in the night before?
Hell yeah! They should have both of them in military garb. I would.
One's got to stay. One's got to stay. But yeah,
well,
that would.
Yeah, no, the governor one has the older one, but I'm not sure they're not the same person still, and they just move very fast. They're like the Flash. There's like two of them. But yes.
Yeah, it'd be badass.
All right, moving forward. It would be badass. Moving forward. Yes, because you demanded it, Oscar De La Hoya finally talks about Canelo's approach. He plays too much golf. Can't wait to hear what you have to say, Oscar.
Oh, shit.
On Sunday, De La Hoya tweeted, "It isn't too late yet. Listen, switch back to me." Oh, like a bad girlfriend. You open up with it. Look, I know he treated you bad, babe.
Like I told you he wasn't going to be good for you. I told he wasn't going to be good for you.
I told you. It's okay. I'll take you back.
Yeah, I'll accept your apology. Come on.
To switch back to the best promoter.
Yes, you still.
Oh, that's so desperate.
You still got your CDs in my truck. Come on.
It's very desperate. It's very desperate.
Oh, sweetie. Oh, you want to give him a hug on that one. Dude, how drunk were you when you wrote that? That's a drunk tweet. That is exactly what that is. That's a midnight drunk tweet. Like, listen, and
it's fucking sad too, you guys. It's really sad. There's one man that should be mad about all this, and he's the young man that fought last night. And I'll get into it, but he should also be thinking about leaving De La Hoya, because if that's how you're going to be treated, he can't get over his ex, and you're doing all you can to please this man and show him that you're his future, and he can't get over the ex. You got to leave him too. He's broken. De La Hoya is broken over Canelo, and I think Ramirez needs to start looking for an out.
What I saw, and I see everything. Wow, good for you. I love Oscar when he's really, listen, what I saw, and I see everything. Listen, Canelo's been playing too much golf. Okay. Ball's going into the wrong hole. I get it, bro. I get it. From experience, I used to play a lot of golf between fights and get my balls in wrong holes.
Damn it. Was that all there?
It takes a lot out of you. Yeah, you're out there for 6 hours banging him. I understand, babe. You're standing on your legs and you're weak and you're not focused. Fighter needs to be focused. Yeah, you're back, everything with your body. What is he? What did you just get drunk and like literally?
No, well, wait a minute. To Oscar's defense, we talked about this last week. Listen, he did change. We talked. Manny Pacquiao had music or movies. De La Hoya had music. Canelo went to golf. He never played golf. When he first started, you didn't see all these golf tournaments, PGA Tour tournaments, and all this stuff. And now we said his clothing line, he had no boxing, no life. That was Canelo's signature shirt and hat. All of a sudden, now we have no golf, no life. You see it change. He's making money. He's flying private jets. He's got the fucking silk pajamas everywhere he goes. He's wearing, right? Hey, Miguel, am I lying? Does he not always wearing those silk pajamas and private jets?
We saw his Lamborghini. We saw his Lamborghini. Yeah. He drove up in his Lamborghini. We saw the whole thing.
There you go.
And whatever you. Oh no, we saw it in person. It's with the girl. No, not just his wife. Like there's an entourage of females that go with him. Like there's a whole package with him. Quite spectacular. But listen, bro, if you're done with that lifestyle, it's not too late. Come back. It's okay.
Yeah,
I love you.
If you're done with the streets, come back, babe. This is too good.
Well, the announcement nobody ever cared about. Amir Khan retires at 35. You know, that's about the same level as my retirement from boxing. I just got to be perfectly honest. And I'm not trying to downplay Amir Khan, but I'm blessed to have had. Was there anybody, like, I'll start with you, Miguel. Are you surprised by the announcement after he got his ass handed to him?
I mean, not surprised. I'm relieved. Shit, it's about time, you know. Like he's gotten his clock block like cleaned. I don't know how many friggin' times already. So like at some point you have to just kind of accept the fact that you can't take a punch. I mean, I don't know if you ever could. I mean, the fight. I actually attended his fight back in 2010 against Maidana, and he showed that he can take a fucking punch. Yeah, he was knocked out prior to that, and I think it was Breeze Prescott, I think it was, who did it. But, it's just like, man, you see him take these shots and you're like, fuck, bro. Now that he's older and he's, he got knocked the fuck out by everybody, from Canelo to Crawford to now this most recent one with Brook. But it's just like, man, at some point you have to just kind of accept it and throw in the towel, right? And I'm glad that he did it. Surprised, if I'm surprised he didn't do it any sooner. But I mean, really, it's just, relief finally. Like, you're right. You still got, for the most part, you still got your faculties, right? You still got, you're not slurring your words, or you're not eating, soup through a straw kind of deal. So you got out at a decent time. Yes, you took your ass whoopings and you took them like a man, no doubt about that. But yeah, it's more relief than surprise.
Okay, so here's my question before we go to Andrew. Do you think more people in the United States, qualifier, cared about his retirement or my retirement?
I think we got more of a following. So I'm gonna say your people cared more about your retirement, Lee.
Shit, if I just went with family alone, I think I've got it won. Andrew, Amir Khan retires. Good call?
Yeah, it's a good call. It was time for him to retire. I got nothing. Good job.
And you agree with the you agree with the assessment? More people cared about my retirement than his retirement in the United States.
Yeah, the real upside to Amir Khan's career was his religion. His religion always kept him in the limelight. There was always someone willing to make a buck off of him because of his fan base that was really driven off his religion. I mean, if we look back, Amir Khan's been knocked out so many times. It'd be foolish to ever think this kid was gonna once again go from being knocked out to a legend. Now all of a sudden he wins 20 fights in a row. Never happened. So that's the only thing you're up against there, Lee, is who Amir Khan was.
True, fair enough. Moving forward, the Mayweather-Moore fight, which we've never discussed prior to today, was canceled. Did we ever discuss this? Like, am I losing my mind?
No, this
is the
this
one
was supposed to be Miguel. Remember, he was supposed to be fighting the billionaire son, the little 18-year-old.
Billionaires.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what threw me off was when did the opponent change? And when I seen it was canceled and this guy Moore's on the cover and they're like his former sparring partner, I was like, dude, there is no way any fucking billionaire prince who was supposed to watch his son fight you is gonna pay to watch you spar. Ah, Floyd, how the mighty have fallen.
$10,000.
How did he anticipate? How did he think this was going to, in any way, shape, or form, bring in any? Any money? Like who? First off, I completely forgot about the opponent. I just knew it was an opponent. I kind of thought the point of these exhibitions was like, hey, two notable names. Okay, cool. Like that kind of makes things. We have a Logan Paul type of guy in the other corner. Like, all right, cool. We know who the fuck this guy is. Maybe that'll pique some interest for some people. The sideshow kind of thing. All right, cool. Let's watch it. But it's getting to the point where his opponents are becoming more and more obscure. It's like, what? How in the hell does he think this is going to rake in any money at all? How is this going to make up for how much it's going to get paid, which I assume is going to be a lot by whomever over in the Middle East? It's like, how do they people like? They must think that their opponent is much more of a star than he really is. I don't know. I didn't even realize who the fuck the opponent was, frankly.
I really want to win like one of those $300 or $400 million lotteries. I think it's worth $1 million. I think that would be a great party for fighting. Now we each take turns. We could go in for a round each. It'll be great.
Did you happen to catch the bet that Floyd made go viral on the Canelo loss?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
$10,000.
$10,000. I like how the boxing world wasn't stupid. Me and Lee talked last week about that shows one, either Floyd is really going broke, or two, he's been betting on Canelo so long that he lost so much money, he started making the bets lower and lower, and now he's at 10 grand. Because it's just not a Floyd Mayweather type bet. Mm-hmm. This cancellation, is this another sign that Floyd is maybe possibly now starting to really hurt for money?
I'm calling it yet again for the second straight year, third straight year. No, probably fourth straight year. Mayweather, Pacquiao coming soon.
2. Mayweather, Pacquiao 2.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pacquiao 2. Yeah.
And we know.
Yeah, no, it's coming now.
We can only imagine how much he put on Canelo, because we know damn well he put money on Canelo too. Like, he's going to put money on both sides. He's going to have, as many horses in the race as possible. So we know we can damn near be. That's the reason. Like, he put less money. He probably put more money on fucking Canelo for all we know, because he thought it was going to be a for sure deal, and then he ended up putting like less money on Bivol.
Just to
and
cover.
Of course, yeah. And then he just basically showed the ticket of his winning, which he does that shit all the time. It's like, come on now, dude. We know damn well that you put money on the other guy too. Come on, we're not stupid.
Yeah.
Moving forward, Oscar De La Hoya tears apart Hearn for allowing Canelo to face Bivol. Wow, you are just a bitter girlfriend, a boyfriend. No. Like, you're just literally that person.
You know what? This is like his version of, we talked about the drunk text earlier. This is like him going at her like, treat her good, man. Treat her good, bro. Or else I'm gonna fuck you up, man. Treat her good. Yeah, she deserves better.
The fact that the promoter of this event pushed Bivol on Canelo, it was the dumbest move in boxing history. It's not knowing boxing. It was a stupid move. Whoever allowed Canelo to fight Bivol, I would never have done that to my Canelo. Never.
Yeah,
never.
No, he's still protecting Canelo, even though he has no ties to this man. I'm telling you, he's holding the guy that would end Canelo's career. He has him. He fucking has him. Canelo's ready. Canelo's not 175. Does anyone know Gilberto Ramirez is almost 6'3"? 6'3". Did anyone see how big he was? He has a 75-inch reach. Canelo has what, a 70? He has 5 inches on him. No, he's holding it. He's protecting Canelo.
And during the broadcast, they said that motherfucker, that Ramirez was up to like 204 pounds or some shit. Like,
Yeah.
he was,
Yes.
it was basically a cruiserweight or heavyweight, I guess, at that point. And I was like, God damn, that's a lot of fucking weight. It's, he's
That's
doing
a
that
hard
fucking.
cut, man. That's a
Hey,
hard
But I mean, like,
cut.
I don't know how the
Hey,
hell he
I'm
ever made one so
jumping.
good.
I'm jumping. I'm jumping, Lee. I'm jumping to the fight
Yeah.
because I'm tired of De La Hoya talking about fucking Canelo.
All
Listen,
right, we'll jump ahead. Gilberto Ramirez drops,
go.
stops,
there you go.
Bozel, and be like a beast. He looked like a damn machine of a beast. Look
Right.
at Oscar's eyes. I got her. I got her in my life. I mean, I don't have Canelo, but I've got that. Listen, bro, I got that. You don't want to know who I'm going out with.
Oh, 5 knockouts in the 175-pound division in a row. He was dominant at the super middleweight. They were all scared of him there. Canelo included. Listen, Canelo coming out and saying he didn't want to fight Mexicans anymore was strictly because of Gilberto Ramirez. Nobody else. David Benavidez could take a fucking seat. It was all because of him right there. And De La Hoya is now protecting him. And I think I know why. It goes back to that. When these two face, hey, listen, let me start off with, did you guys hear the interview that Ramirez did last night? Did any of you guys listen to the post-fight interview?
Yeah, when he was in the ring, yeah.
Was that not awesome, Miguel? What made you gain weight? Oh, I eat a lot of tacos. What?
Yeah, the tortillas, right.
Mexico cabrones, right? He starts. Yeah. It was, he's connecting the hat. The look, hey, why the gold chain right after the fight? He is more
the singers
than fucking Canelo Alvarez ever will be. De La Hoya is a victim of that. De La Hoya's whole career, when he went up against Chavez, when he went up against Miguel Angel Gonzalez, Jorge Paez, the Mexicans from Mexico were always connected to the other side. I think De La Hoya feels sorry for Canelo on that part, and he's not putting Gilberto in the ring with them because he knows he still likes him. He's not over Saul Alvarez, because if he was over him, he would say, hey, you guys know who this man is. This is the real Mexican that will come and he will take Canelo's title. He will beat Saul Alvarez. Why haven't they fought? This is a huge fight for Mexico. Miguel, am I lying?
No. I mean, he even had like the recording artist, like, follow him to the fucking ring, singing whatever it is, singing. And it's not that Canelo hasn't done that either. He has, but I mean, I don't know who the fuck these guys are, but these guys look more, less mainstream or more Mexican hardcore, like ranchero than fucking,
right.
the ones that Canelo has in his corner. But yeah, I mean, he did his own translating in the fucking ring, for Christ's sake, I mean, he was just like, yeah, talking about like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this because I'm more handsome. It's like, damn, just popping them. He had them shits ready to go. It's like, okay, he's doing his thing. It's like he's connecting. He really is like doing his he bringing out his personality, right? You get to see him. He's got a little bit more spunk to him, a little bit more of an edge to him. So like, and then of course, he that, like you said, the hat. He, as soon as the fight's over, he puts on the hat, he puts on the chain, and he might as well put on the fucking sarape while he's at it. But it's like, yes, he's definitely like it was on it last night, especially during that post fight. I mean, because the fight itself, it was one of those record patterns, right? It's like, oh, another one of those fights, him trying to reach the 51 or 52-0, whatever that he's trying to reach. So for all we know, De La Hoya is trying to wait until he gets to that 51 or 52 fight before he's like, okay, now we're gonna give him Canelo or something like that, or right on the mark, right? Whatever fight that 51 or 52, he wants Canelo at that fight, but. Yeah, I mean, he did. The fight was, non-eventful, right? He basically controlled the dude from the beginning. According to the WBA rankings, this guy Bozel was actually like, higher than him, ranked for some fucking reason. But nonetheless, Ramirez proved why he's the man at 175, or he's going to be the man. He hasn't been given the shots yet to prove it, right? I mean, but he'll get there. But yeah, I mean that connection. I mean, what was the fight? I think Ontario, right? I think it was in Ontario, California, where they had.
No, it was in Ontario. Yeah. Good location, right? Inland Empire.
Perfect, exactly, perfect. And it was
in the afternoon, no less.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. And they did it right before the other fights, the other main events got started. Right, it was perfect.
Me and Christina go dancing. We go dancing sometimes. There's more of a feel for Gilberto Ramirez in those clubs than there is Saul Alvarez. I'm telling you, he's going to connect to both sides of this border. The young man, his translating was superb. This is a young man who can just literally flip from English to Spanish with 2 microphones. He's golden, man. What the fuck is De La Hoya doing with them? I have no idea. But ESPN, Top Rank, Eddie Hearn, whatever money you have left, I would start looking at Gilberto Ramirez because there's a future with him. The big fight being Canelo, and then whatever he does left at the middleweight and even higher. But he's real. Last night was his coming. Last night we had two coming out parties. Ramirez and Jermell Charlo. Now I won't forget your name. You're legit. Jermell Charlo stepped out.
Mel, according to Spence.
That's right.
It's Mel. Just call him Mel.
That's right, Jermell. Yes, sir. Or you just want to call him Mel? Hey, we should have done
that.
No,
that's all. That's all Spence called him, Mel.
And his brother's Maul, like a Maul. Like a shot.
Oh,
yeah, Mel.
People are smart. That's a good one. Mel Charlo stepped out last night, and Gilberto Ramirez stepped out last night. Just a week after we watched possibly the demise of Saul Alvarez. We have two stars that literally stepped out. They're both ready. So yeah, it was a good show last night. Very impressed with everything Ramirez did.
This is a good question. How much of a whore is De La Hoya? Do you think he'd do a straight up swap with Eddie Hearn, Canelo for Ramirez?
Fuck yeah. Yes.
Damn.
Yes, I do.
Damn. He's like, hey, Ramirez, your Uber is outside. Just step outside. You can go home now.
No, it's a bridge exchange. No, it's like Man on Fire. It's the exchange on the bridge. Right?
Listen, De La Hoya
just send the two across as they gotta pass each other on the bridge, and they get into different limos. They do it like on the LA Bridge.
De La Hoya has had a life of people not telling them no. Seriously, and that goes from men to women. That from his real life to his boxing career. Oh. They don't tell this dude no. They never have. De La Hoya has done some of the stupidest shit you can do, and he still has power because of who he is. Canelo told him no. Canelo is the first one that was like, no, I don't want to be with you. I don't like what you're doing. And I think it has made him
be with you no more. Get your shit.
You don't treat me right.
That's right. That's right.
I can literally picture them on the LA Bridge doing a swap.
The way he acts, it's like a broken boyfriend's heart. The way he acts, we're not putting this is what De La Hoya does on himself out there in public. So I absolutely, yes, just to be like, see, I got him back. I got him back.
Yeah.
I told you
Eddie Hearn is literally like a Blaine type guy from the 80s and 90s movies, right? Like the flashy guy with the money, and he knows all the right people. You went with Blaine. You left me for Blaine. That's what you did?
Like after all I've
you
done
left
for you.
me after everything. I made you, bro. I made you, bro. And by the way, I would swap for you in a heartbeat. He wouldn't do that. Bet you would. I bet you'd take Ramirez over Canelo in a heartbeat. Oh my God. That'd be a contract swap and a half.
One thing I want to mention before we move on to the next topic. The particular demographic that I think is going to like be drawn to Ramirez. Like if you see him, so if you guys, I'm sure, I mean, you guys have had it, and I know, Lee been here in Vegas at some point. Sometimes they'll have these like norteño nights at the club, where they have that kind of like music for rancheros, right? Like it's literally there. It's almost like a niche in the Mexican community. So if one person like Canelo is more of a mainstream dude and he try to kind of appeals to like the broader Latino fans, like Ramirez has like not just the broader like Latino fans, but a specific niche, and it's those kinds of people. It's the kind of people that you see at the clubs, like on norteño nights or something like that. They'll have here at the casino.
No, he's a Latino. It's like being a Latino punk almost.
And I'm in Northern California, so we must have a lot of those norteño nights because I see a lot of fucking cowboy hats and belt buckles, bro. We go out dancing, man.
Oh yeah,
it's that specific, niche, and he's like, it's that the more specific one, and that's gonna be like, imagine those motherfuckers coming out to fights. Good Lord.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's and that's the angle, right?
Golden belt buckles, fucking snake boots. It's live. It is very snake live. Belts, yes, sir.
The matching snake belt.
Well, no, it comes down to the same thing, and I say it all the time, which is the sellout, right? Oscar's always seen as a sellout. Well, no, he was a sellout long before when he was living.
And he's American. Like he's an American Mexican. Yes. That's what he is. And
that
Canelo,
makes you an automatic sellout.
Unfortunately, when Canelo first came out, they started doing his whole, oh, he's Irish, we're gonna take him to Ireland, and we're gonna get these contracts, right? They kind of did that when Canelo first comes out, and you know, it is what it is, man. That it's just you see it in almost every race. You know, there's racism inside of their own race, and Canelo, unfortunately, he falls on the lighter skin, and Ramirez doesn't. And yeah, it would be a hell of a fight, but Oscar is straight protecting Canelo at this moment, because last night was Gilberto Ramirez's coming out party. Literally, De La Hoya should have went in that fucking ring and said, he's ready to retire you, so you're not shit. Get out of the division, or Gilberto Ramirez is coming for you. And watch Canelo leave the light heavyweight division. He will not stay there. The reason Canelo said, I do not want to fight Mexicans anymore, is Gilberto fucking Ramirez.
I agree. And I mean, the reality is, if you put this guy into the ring with Bivol, it's a different story. That's a different fight. Those are two big that's man. A good scrap. Yep. I'd be excited about that fight because they're active. I mean, the one thing
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, all I was going to say was there were two fights last night where I was like, all right, they were pretty lopsided. This was one of them, but I enjoyed it because Ramirez is extremely active. Like, he's not sitting back on, like, he's not joking. This is a really ferocious big man. It would take a bigger, more technical boxer to like fight this guy off. And I don't think that exists in that division. Like, there's nobody at that skill pace. I mean, there's a bunch of people at light heavyweight floating around there trying to say everybody's avoiding them. Not avoiding you, dude. Nobody cares because you don't make money. This guy's got money written all over him. What I saw with that Ontario arena, sold out. Okay? That's reality, kids. In the afternoon, on a day where there were two other fights in LA. That's strong in my book. I mean, they did some bullshit number about the PBC card having 7,000 people there. No, I could do an eyeball on that. You guys would have been lucky to pull 45, maybe 5 with what I saw.
And the whole working staff and fighting stable of PBC was in the front row.
And by the way, for the undisputed 154 championship, and you guys can't move that to Staples? I mean, you got to be kidding. Like, that's just shit promotion. Oscar pulled this rabbit out of his ass. And I truly believe this. He would sell this dude down the river to get one more shot with Canelo. What a whore. God damn, he's a whore. Let me get the last two stories out of the way and we'll get into the other things. Josh Taylor's going to lose the WBA 140-pound because he doesn't want to fight Alberto Puello. And I don't care. I'm kind of with Josh. So here's the question. Once you unify, does it really matter that you have all the belts and like take everybody? Because they're all jockeying for, at least from what I can tell, once you're unified, you're forced to face the number one, even though it doesn't make any money, or they're going to strip your title, right? From WBA all the way to WBO. Mm-hmm. Andrew, is it a big deal to lose the WBA? Is he still the lineal monster?
He technically no, but in the fans, this is when that whole "I'm the people's champ" thing kicks in. We all know who he is, right? So he has the title of undisputed. He will continue to have that until he takes a loss. Now, the guy that beats him will not become undisputed, but we will know who he defeated. In arguments, I think that will always be brought up. That, you know, he did beat Josh Taylor, who was undisputed. Only reason why he lost is because he was stripped. That will be brought up in arguments. So he'll always be remembered as the undisputed champ that was stripped of his titles. It happens to all of them, really, if they hold on to these belts too long.
Absolutely. Miguel.
I mean, in general, no, it doesn't matter. They can strip him of all the fucking belts. We know he's the number one dude, you know, until he leaves the weight division. I mean, it's happened, you know, to echo what Andrew said, it's happened to everybody. Right off the bat, I can think of Prince Nassim Ahmed. At one point or another, he had every fucking belt, just not at the same time, because one way or reason or another, he was like stripped of the title, so of whatever strap he happens to be holding at that moment. So he was still considered the number one guy at that weight division at 126 prior to his fight with Barrera. So yeah, I mean, it really doesn't matter to some degree. like it would be cool. And I don't know if there's a boxer who's going to have the pull or the balls to do something like this, but if he unifies the belt, whoever it is, and then immediately relinquishes all of the all of them again, it's like, fuck it, I proved that I can beat every champion. Fuck y'all, I'm the man. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. He still be considered the Ring Magazine #1, guy. So he's going to be the #1 guy in the weight division, forgetting what other sanctioning bodies say. But it'd be cool just to see that shit. Just be like, yeah, I'm the #1 guy. Fuck, what everybody else says, and here's your belt specs, so I don't have to pay your sanctioning fees. But it really doesn't fucking matter. We know who the #1 guy of the weight division is. He proved it. And if he doesn't want to fight the mandatory challengers, then whatever, so be it. Because the way these guys, the sanctioning bodies with their rankings, maybe at any given point there's going to be 4 different mandatory challengers. So I mean, yeah, it's going to keep him busy. That's great, right? But I mean, if it's not going to make him any fucking money, then really, what is it worth? The undisputed champion to go out and fight a fucking mandatory challenger who's not going to make him a dime. It's like, what's the point of that? What was the point of him accomplishing that big, the mantle, you being on the mantle, right? Having the 4 belts in the 4-belt era. What was the point of all that if he's going to have to go fight some no-name motherfucker who's the mandatory challenger? So no, in bottom line is, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, we know who the #1 140-pounder dude is.
There you go. Moving forward, and my favorite, the whore is back. The WBC president, Mauricio Sulaiman. Speaking of the biggest whore in the room, Mauricio Sulaiman. Hey, no pressure on Tyson Fury. He doesn't. Hey. We're not taking the belt right now. Hey. No. Hey, you don't have to retire. Just think about it.
We're
not do like some ayahuasca with Deontay Wilder. Yeah. Take some time.
We're not like the other guys. We're not like the WBA. We're not going to strip you of your belt. You keep your belt.
Oh, we like you. We're going to give him time to reflect and to relax.
Sounds like a mob boss to me. Like,
oh my God!
We'll give you time, but don't take too long, or we'll fucking whack you. Your ass is gone.
Yeah, you're not going to get too many extensions. You'll get a few.
I am never not fascinated with Mauricio Sulaiman's ability to just no. We want Tyson Fury. No. The mandatory is not cool. We don't want to do that belt fight. So I just thought I'd throw that in because I just love Mauricio and he makes me laugh so much. Kubrat Pulev fights a guy who sells tire named Jerry Forrest. For those of you who forget Kubrat Pulev, he was actually owned for a hot second by Top Rank and then got involved in a controversy that we helped him get his ass out of here at Fight Net Radio. Wow, Miguel, you and I both watched this shit show. This was really awful.
It was. I mean, there was a quick second where it looked like Forrest landed. I think it was a straight left. I think it was that like snapped Pulev's head back, and we're like, oh shit! For a quick second, we're like, oh. But then Pulev took it like a man. He like spit out his fucking tooth, and was like, yeah, I can take it, and he kept going. So I mean, really, other than that, it was pretty uneventful. It was a non-event, really. Pulev did what he needed to do, and he wasn't able to take this guy out, but to some degree, it almost didn't seem like he really wasn't trying to. He was just like, well, I need rounds. I need to get rounds in here, so I need to get back into shape, and took a sweet ass time. But that to touch on the title of this article here regarding the glove controversy, there was some shit going on with like Jerry Forrest's corner and them using like used gloves or some shit like that, right? And rather than to cancel the fucking fight,
he was changing tires yesterday. I mean, he was literally a tire salesman and or Jiffy Lube repair. Like, I don't even know where they found did they just on the way to the event at the forum, they just stopped somewhere along the way and picked it up?
They must have. I mean, there was like, those like hot dog ladies outside the forum, and he was in line, and he's like, oh, hey, you want to fight? Like, yeah. All right, cool. And that's literally what the fuck. Like, he was in line waiting to get a hot dog. That's pretty much what it was. And Pulev straight up gave him his reserve gloves. He was like, here, I guess we're gonna have to fight. Here you go. Here's some gloves. And Pulev, gave him his fucking gloves. And then Pulev had an extra pair, of course. That's the one that he gave him. But it's just like, holy shit! What the hell kind of thriller? What the fuck's going on with this shit?
I feel this is how that conversation went. Hey, you want to fight? I would, but I forgot my gloves. Oh no, you can use mine. Look, give him gloves. Give him gloves.
Yeah, it's like put hot dog.
And this dude literally walks out with a big fat belly, right? And kind of just waddles out to the ring.
Oh yeah, and then stumbles back to his corner every single fucking round. He's so gassed.
They threatened to stop it somewhere around the 5th or 6th round. We'll give him one more. Give him one more. Give him one more. It was ugly. It was not a good showing for Kubrat. Sergey Kovalev makes his return and outpoints Tervel Pulev, the younger brother of Kubrat Pulev, on the same card. Sergey now apparently owns a jab and believes that he is now a reborn fighter, and he is ready to be in the cruiserweight division and fight a la Klitschko style with nothing more than a jab in his back pocket. It was boring. I think the most interesting fact with Tervel Pulev is that he's the same age. He's a year older than Kovalev. He's only had 16 fights with 13 KOs. He's a former Olympic bronze medal winner. Like, where did his career go? I'm more interested in where Pulev's career went off the rails. And
you're going to get more traffic talking about Vargas's boys than these two dipshits. I'm telling you that right now.
I know.
They didn't need these guys. The Vargas, for whatever reason, look, maybe they're legit, maybe they're not. They seem a little reality TV to me, but they won. They're dedicated. They all got good shapes. They're no fat men coming in the ring just getting paid. They didn't look like
just their dad.
Jr.
Just their dad.
Yeah, and he has every right to be. He went to the Olympics. He was a world champ. That's a lot of dieting, a lot of discipline. He wants to be a little loose at his older age. So be it. My whole thing is, I don't know why the card's in Southern California. The Vargases have a reality TV show. I don't know if it's still running, but they had one. All the young men look like they benefited from it. So I don't know why Triller even went with the whole Pulev and Kovalev thing here. I think I just would have went with the sons of legends, right? You got Holyfield.
Well, they're bringing back boxing, Andrew. Haven't you heard? Triller is bringing back boxing.
Yeah, not with Pulev and Kovalev as your main events. Not, no.
Oh my God. The best part of the evening for me during this fight, I'm watching on VIP Ronet. By the way, not a sponsor of Fight Net Radio, but when you don't want to pay, go there. The event was like on Fight TV or some crazy streaming service. And around the 8th round, they do a split screen to advertise the fight I am watching on live stream. And I went, wow, how out of touch are you guys? You're advertising the fight that's happening at the same time that the fight's happening with 2 rounds left. That is so out of touch, right, programming wise. So, hey, shout out to the fight crew. Good job with the producer over there.
Yeah, the producer.
Did you see anything, Miguel? You watched this start to finish. I only made it through 8.
I mean, besides the horrendous commentating with Ray Flores and Sean Porter and whoever the hell that other white dude is who's got like the New Jersey accent, I don't know who the hell he is. And every time I try to who the hell is this guy? They never put his name up on the screen.
Teddy Atlas. I kept thinking, oh, they got a fake Teddy Atlas.
Shit, that's an insult to Teddy Atlas. That's
I don't know who on what day you get Teddy Atlas.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know who the hell the dude is. But the commentating was pretty shitty. They tried. I can knock them for trying. But they had their own version of like Heidi Androl. I don't know. It was just some like random chick who was doing the interviews onto the side, right? That seems to be the thing that most streaming services do. It's like they have to have a Cynthia Ponch or whatever. They kind of have to have one of those at every fight. So DAZN has their own
politically correct these days.
You got to have the quota, right? You got to meet the gender quota. So they had
the best part of the. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like the production. If you watch the the concert of some black chick rapping, or I don't know what the fuck she was doing.
Where's the black chicks? Like,
I don't
what
know
was
who the
that?
fuck. And listen to the crowd. They were so silent. They're like, "Who the fuck is this broad?" Like they didn't know who the hell they were even watching. It was just so bad. I know Triller tries to be innovative, and the dude,
Fuck Triller.
the CEO, yeah, what's his name? I don't even know the guy's name, but the CEO or
The
the
mob
guy,
guy.
the mob
Let's
guy,
just call him the
yeah,
mob guy.
he was doing an interview right with the chick, and he was trying to come up with he was trying to explain basically their formula, right, the entertainment with the boxing, and then trying to do the same with that triad thing with the triangle ring. And it was just like, man, these guys are just not, they're not connecting. I don't know if they just haven't found their niche yet, but Jesus Christ, that just everybody in the crowd was fucking dead silent. They did kind of wake up for the fights. It seemed as though the fans that were there for the fights. So I mean that kind of helped, but I don't think it helped having these people, whoever the hell these singers or rappers were on stage. Like no
Well,
one
it's
gave a
out
shit
of
about that.
touch. I
Yeah,
mean,
no one
it's
gave
just
a
complete.
shit.
Okay, so wait, without being racial,
You're spending way too much
you
time on
have.
that bullshit, you guys.
Well, no, you're the best
Come
part
on,
of this,
man.
Andrew. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna move on. Was there janky ass sponsors? Like they had there was some janky ass sponsors on the ring. Like he's downplaying how freaking crazy the announcing was. Like Ray Flores tried, so we're going out after this and going on the town, and Sean Porter's like, yeah, probably not. Like he said it under his breath. And I thought I was going to fall out of my chair. Ray Flores was trying, we're in Hollywood, Tinseltown, baby. We're going out on the town. It's Triller, baby. You can hear Sean Porter go, yeah, probably not.
That's fucked up.
And he downplayed it. He's like, no, I'm married. And then
like,
Ray
I
Flores
don't drink.
comments, when he can't, then he comments about the ring card girl. And he's like trying to get Sean Porter to like co-sign it. He's like, yeah, no, I'm married, bro. Like,
Dumbass.
pretty much like
man.
which takes us to the main event of the evening. Quite fantastic. With all due respect. Yeah, he did it. Mel actually showed up. This wasn't a draw. There was no dispute. There were moments where one side won and then the other side won early on, depending on whose scorecard you had. He probably got 4 rounds on my card this time for Castano. Jermel Mel Charlo, who will henceforth be known as Mel. He is now the undisputed 4-belt holder at junior middleweight, 154. It was a great fight. It wasn't a good fight. It was a great fight till the very end. And honestly, you had to believe Castano was in it all the way because he was still doing what he was doing. Charlo got serious this time, and I enjoyed every second of this fight. I don't think it's fight of the year, but it's a darn good fight. I start with you, Andrew. What'd you think of Mel?
Coming out party. Hopefully he's graduated from the PBC stable after last night. He's ready to face anybody coming up from super welterweight. Look, Spence and Crawford, I think they're too small to face Charlo. I really do. Spence maybe can face him. Crawford definitely not. He would be at a very big disadvantage. Charlo is a big junior middleweight. Excellent game plan. I don't really like fighting off of the ropes, but it worked for him. He used Castano's aggression to his advantage, and it worked. He's a very good learner, and so is his trainer. What's his name? Derek James is his name?
Yeah.
In both rematches, he has knockout victories. Now, Tony Harrison, very good first fight, comes back in the rematch, knocks Tony Harrison out. Castano, very good first fight, maybe fight of the year. I think it went up as one of the fight of the year, comes back and knocks him out. So he learns. You got to watch out when you face Charlo on that rematch. He's ready, man. Look, the PBC has thrown everyone at him. Eric Lubin was this undefeated power puncher, blah, blah, blah. He knocks him out in 1 round. Tony Harrison defeats him. He comes back and knocks him out. Castano, very good fighter. Look, we called this the fight of the night. I think it was the fight of the night. We said it was a bona fide unification match. Castano played his part to the very end. He fought like a champion all the way to the end. Beautiful inside punch that knocks him out. I got to show my son that. Finally, Junior got to see a victory going into the fight. You know, Junior's had a rough boxing career, man. A lot of our stars don't always win. As of recently, the guys we're going for it don't seem to be pulling out victories. Saul's name was added to that list 7 days ago. So Junior's had a rough boxing career. On this night, he went for Charlo Jermel, and he got the victory. So, and then that inside punch is a thing of beauty, that left hook, because that shows you don't. Yeah, there is no reason to reach all the way back. 6 inches is really all you need, and it was a thing of perfection how he leveled him with that shot. And that's not the first time we've seen him drop guys with jabs. They were highlighting that going into this fight. He dropped one of his opponents with the jab, and then last night he has a 6-inch punch. That was a thing of beauty. So Charlo's real. Charlo needs to tell El Heyman it's time. Like, look, I know Munguia went to middleweight, but dude, that Munguia Charlo fight is so fucking hot right now. Munguia's ready. He has the record. Charlo's ready. He's undisputed at 154. If he could try to get a pay-per-view, I would pay pay-per-view money to watch Charlo versus Munguia in a heartbeat.
There you go. All right, Miguel, give me your feedback.
Well, it was a good fight. It was a really, really good fight. It was a good scrap right off the bat, and we had hoped that this was going to be the case, based off of their first fight, because they really left it out in the ring in their first fight. And the fight did take place in Carson, in that Home Depot or Dignity Health, whatever the fuck that arena is. But that arena is
Dignity Healthcare. Get it right. Dignity
Healthcare Sports something. Yes. And
formerly the Home Depot Center.
Depot, yeah, and I'm sure it has several other names prior to that as well. But
yes.
That arena, has that notoriety for it. You go here and it's like you watch killer ass fights. It's where you see, Rio's Alvarado won, and I think it was one of the Vasquez and Marquez fights that took place there as well. Like, it has that kind of like name and notoriety to it. When you go there, it's like, oh shit, they're gonna have some good ass fights. Or something about that arena that just brings it out of the fighters. And last night was no exception. And it was right off the bat, man. They did not even take a round to warm up. Like, they already had 12 rounds to warm up prior to this, and it's like shit. Right off the bat, they started landing the punches. And to mention, to touch on what Andrew was talking about with Charlo working off the ropes. He did a really good job of not being up against the ropes. Yeah, he was moving back. Yeah, he was kind of closer to the ropes. He had his back closer to the ropes, but he never really fought off them that much. He did, but especially in the beginning, it looked like he was doing a real good job of making sure he wasn't trapped up against the ropes, which is where he was hurt in that first fight when he was damn near dropped. It was right by the ropes. So he did a real good job of making sure that his backs barely touched the fucking ropes. It wasn't until later on where he started getting a little bit lazy, and he kind of started allowing Castaño to kind of move in on him. And I kind of sort of didn't understand that, because Charlo at least appeared to be the taller fighter. You would think he'd be the guy who was the bigger guy to be able to muscle Castaño around. But Castaño was the one that was basically walking him down the entire fight up until, of course, the ending. But it was a great fight. We finally got the answer. This is one of the things that we want in boxing, is to have one champion in every weight division, and this basically solidified it, right? I mean, considering that Charlo already had 3 of the 4 belts, we kind of figured he was the number 1 dude anyway. But he really, really cemented that yesterday by not only beating Castaño for the belt and knocking him out also. Because keep in mind that the guy who had the belt prior to Castaño was this guy Patrick Teixeira, this Brazilian dude who was a total fucking pushover. He was I'm sorry, but he was a paper champ. Dude was a super paper champ. And so we knew that if he fought Charlo, it'd be like, God damn it, really? Charlo unified the belts, but against this motherfucker? And then when Castaño beats him, it's like, oh shit, Castaño, damn, this motherfucker's bad. Holy hell, Charlo's not gonna face this motherfucker. And then he fights him twice, and then he beats him a second time. It's like, oh shit, okay. We have to give props to wherever to where it's due, right? Credit to where it's due. And towards the post-fight the post-fight interview in the ring, he even kind of teased a possible move up to 160, right? So that's intriguing. I mean, there already is a Charlo at 160, right? The other Charlo Mall. So he hasn't fought Munguia, but maybe there's more money to be made for Mel to move up to 160. But again, it's like, do you want to? He's doing the Canelo thing, like unify the belts. All right, great. Now he's going to leave the division and move up again, or is he going to stay at 154 and try to reign with an iron fist? Right, that's his new nickname. Apparently, he's the Iron Man now. I didn't know they changed his name. I thought it was something else, but or the way Mauro Ronaldo says that, Iron Man, because he's Canadian, so the Iron Man. That's like his new nickname or something, right? But up the area where the guys are interviewed, where the most of the commentators are, they had two guys up there. They had Sebastian Fundora up there, and they had Tim Tszyu up there, and they were both talking about the fights, and they were both talking about potentially fighting the winner, and they both chose Charlo to win because they both want to fight Charlo. So if a move up to 160 isn't in the I guess on the table yet for Charlo, any one of those guys, yeah, granted, they're not the biggest names, and maybe they're to some degree unproven, but unheralded, I mean, but they have undefeated records, and maybe they're not that big of names, but they're two dudes that he could potentially fight before making the move up to 160. Maybe a formality, maybe he just ends up beating them anyway. But again, he cleans out the division with the two next guys in line, and then maybe move up to 160. Who the hell knows where Mejia will be at by that point,
It makes him no money. I got to say no to both of those fights unless Tim Tszyu is going to.
No, Tszyu. If you fight Tszyu in Australia, that's a payday.
But he's going to want the lion's share. That's where all because Jermell is the undisputed now. Yeah. So fuck everything Tszyu does in Australia. We don't care about all that. You're fighting the guy with the 4 titles now. He's going to want majority of your pot. I don't think that fight happens in Australia. I don't think they're going to bow down to that. And really, watch what you wish for. I said it when he was calling out Castano, and now I'm really saying it with Charlo. He's not ready for that. I don't care who your dad is. You haven't fought anybody that said you just got dropped one in your last fight. You haven't fought anyone that puts you in the same category as the guy, the undisputed champ. So I'm out with Tszyu. And if I'm Jermell, I'm dead. See, I keep saying it because I'm going to remember it, you guys. If I'm Jermell, he's 31 years old. Lee, did we lose you?
No.
Okay. He's 31 years old. There is no time to waste anymore. Right now, I'm looking at a pay-per-view against Munguia. I would have El Heyman reach out to Oscar on that fight, or I'm reaching out to Eddie Hearn and doing a pay-per-view with Chris Eubank. Dead serious on that. I think both of those fights can sell. Chris Eubanks made kind of a splash out there in the UK. He's got big noise right now with the PBC. He's been fighting. He's been walking around the PBC fights. I think they can make something work. He's got no time. Fuck Fonfaras is fucking tall-ass guy, done nothing. This makes him no money. There's no money. Right now, he needs to start acting like Floyd with Al Heyman. You need to start showing me the money. I'm 31 years old. He's undisputed. He's beaten every PBC prospect champion that they've had, and he did it with flying colors because Harrison and Castano, he comes back and knocks them both out. So no, if I'm Jermell, you got to put your foot down. It's nothing but big fights from here on out. Lions only, baby.
Wow.
Stick to your gun.
There you go.
Listen.
Well, if you look at the division, it's not that much fun. Well, to be honest, the division's not that much fun, right? You're talking Lara, Heard.
I mean, it was at one time, right? But then the fights, the belts unified. I mean, granted, those fights probably the other fights won't make him any money. But I mean, I don't know. Yeah, like you just went through the guys, right? Laura, Heard, those guys. There was somebody else.
There's no money here. There's no money here.
Or maybe like a third fight with fucking what's his name, with Harrison, right? Because they're 1-1 now. Who the hell knows? But yeah, as far as money, no, unfortunately not.
Tough division. Let's check and see if we have any fights next week. I believe we do. Next week would be what? The weekend of the 21st. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see what we have. Just keep everybody up to date. Las Vegas. Nobody you ever heard of based fighting Danny Dingham. Janibek. What the hell? For the interim WBO title in Vegas. Where would that be? The Four Aces Casino? I like. And Jamal Herring is on the undercard of that fight.
Oh, how fast. Damn. He went from being the main event. Damn.
David Benavidez is taking on David Lemieux for the WBC interim super middleweight title. I
It's a decent fight. Listen, if you're not doing anything else, that's a decent fight because David Benavidez is starting to line himself up into a big fight. All of his controversies kind of behind him. He still has a good record. Lemieux's a veteran, so it's a good fight to check out. Is it free? What channel is it on?
No, it's
Yeah,
Showtime.
free,
but
free,
it's Showtime, though.
Showtime.
Like if you have Showtime, that's another story. But if you don't have Showtime, well, I mean, VIP Box. Shout out to VIP Box.
Shout out to VIP Box. Miguel, good scrap.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we've said it countless times, and it's very true. The last thing that a fighter loses is his power, and Lemieux has got that fucking left hook. I mean, just he's done it. I forgot who it was, Curtis something. I forgot the guy's name that he knocked down on HBO, left the motherfucker out cold. This was prior, I think it was prior or right after his fight with Triple G. But Lemieux still got that same power in that left hand. Maybe it's not the same as super middleweight as it was middleweight, but he was killing himself for quite a while to make the middleweight limit, and maybe at super middleweight he's even more stronger. So who the fuck knows? But that he still got that left fucking hook because the dude he throws that with like power and with conviction, and the guy doesn't shy away from a scrap. So yes, 100. And David Benavidez is in there, the whole night. So yeah, I would say if you guys happen to have Showtime, tune in for that one. That one's gonna be good. We know who the favorite is, right? But hey, Lemieux is don't sleep on Lemieux. Don't sleep on Lemieux.
That was Curtis Stevens. He knocked out on HBO.
There we go.
Right. Yeah. In London, we have a crazy Eddie Hearn no-name card.
Well,
unless I guess
that Buatsi dude, that they threw that guy's name in there as a potential Ramirez, opponent. Rather than that actually happens, I don't know. But if you guys want to see who else in the weight division to potentially fight, Surdo, tune in for that one too, specifically with the Buatsi dude.
All right. My favorite of the day happening next week.
Oh,
in Ghana.
Wow.
Tevin the Flounder Farmer. Is it a flounder? What's the one that's on its side? Two eyes on the side of its head. Tevin Farmer takes on Mickey Bay. First of all, who knew that Mickey Bay was still fighting? Secondly, Tevin Farmer has to go to Ghana to get. What
hey, shout out
what
to
did
them.
Tevin Farmer do to screw this?
Who else gets paid to travel the world? Nah, you know what? Fuck it. Go take a fight in Ghana. At least you got to see what Ghana looks like, and you got money doing it. So I'm all whatever. It's a whatever fight for me.
No. Here's why it's not whatever. I want to know who he pissed off over at PBC, Showtime, and/or Mayweather that you wound up on this card. It's funny. And then there's a fight in San Antonio with nobody we've ever heard of. All right, that takes care of it. That takes care of next week. That's everything. If you guys want full fight information, go to boxingtonight.io. You can follow us on social media.
Fight.net. A good girl right in front of him. He doesn't know what to do with it.
Oh, the what?
I said De La Hoya has a good girl right in front of him. He doesn't know what to do with it.
He doesn't appreciate the good.
Oh no, that's
he always
the
wants
title
the bad boys. Always wants the bad boys.
Yes. That's the takeaway. That's literally the takeaway for this week. I mean, Oscar, you literally. That is literally the line. That is literally
just move on, Oscar. Move on. Get yourself a better girlfriend. Move on, and show the best revenge is like moving on.
That's right.
Right.
Best revenge is success, and Ramirez could be very successful for De La Hoya if played right. This could be Canelo's fucking nightmare. I'm telling you. Last night would have been the beginning. I would have ran his ass right out of the light heavyweight division, calling him out with Gilberto Ramirez standing behind me. Ramirez is ready. That fight is ready. He's not on a pedestal anymore. He took a defeat. He's come down. No, it's on. I don't know what Oscar did. To me, I think Oscar has a hidden love for Canelo, and he's straight protecting him still, even though he makes no money off of him.
And you know what? I might have to rewatch it, but I don't even remember if after the Ramirez fight or the post fight interview in the ring, I don't remember if they even mentioned Canelo's name. Like I'll have to rewatch it, but they talked about him being, with this win, Ramirez.
They talked about Bivol.
Bivol specifically, because Bivol is the champ, right? So they said, all right, you're now the mandatory for Bivol, yada yada, But I don't even know if a potential fight with fucking Canelo was even brought up if the rematch goes through. Because I want to say maybe they briefly said it and mentioned it, but damn, they damn near didn't say anything about fucking Canelo. They're just like Bivol, and so forth. So I mean, it would have been some shit if Ramirez said something about Canelo. It's like, yeah, well, if he's gonna fucking want it, he's right here. He's literally gonna run him out of the division. That would have been that would have been like the cherry on top for that post-fight interview.
Well, there you go. Go to boxingtonight.io. Follow us. Follow him. That is at Fight Fiend Mix. Follow him at Andrew Labouche. Follow me at Lee Honish. We do this each and every week. We just ask you to click like, subscribe. I'll use one of the kid terms. Smash whatever the button is and tell your BFFs. We will be back next week as we are each and every week. We appreciate all of you for listening.